Just show me.
Alright, we're gonna intro.
Oh, okay.
Ready? Wait, my glasses are foggy.
Are you ready?
2. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. Ah, frick. No.
Hello, Aaron.
Ready?
Hey guys, what's up? It's Jenna.
And Chad
Welcome back.
to the channel
The purpose of our video today is
to share our testimonies. So how we're gonna break this up? It's gonna be a 3-part video. It's gonna be me today because
and our love story, because that's what y'all really want to know.
she'll be next, and then our love story. The reason we're doing this is because a lot of y'all don't know. Y'all know us, but y'all don't know us, like our stories and where we've been and where we've come from and all that kind of stuff. Especially me, just because I'm not new to her life, but
a lot of people
new to her life in y'all's eyes.
Yeah, and a lot of people that I've seen like you on my Instagram and everything, it's been like people that I grew up with at the church, and everybody's like, "Who's this guy? Like,
Yeah.
Where's he from? What all this stuff." So
Yep.
this is an opportunity for him to just be able to lay it all out there
Yep.
and just tell the truth, tell the things where, not that he would lie to you or anything,
Right.
but like
Never.
but just tell you like straight up, just like what the Lord has done in his life, how he's taken him from death to life and taken him out of sinful things, and
Yep.
just from where he brought it up to today, where we're at today. So we're gonna do that, but we know what you guys really want is to hear our love story. So
You're gonna have to wait
you have to wait.
2 more
You're
videos
gonna have to like, comment, and subscribe
if you want to
if you
see
want to
that.
see all that.
If you don't, just let us know.
We're gonna need to see some support, people.
Yeah, 2 likes.
All I'm saying.
Shameful.
Where are the comments at? Where you got? Come on.
Anyway,
I know we're 2 videos into this, but like,
come on now.
no, I'm just kidding.
But part of my story is that I was adopted at birth, which is just a really cool picture of how Christ adopts us from death to life. For me, it's getting pulled out of a bad situation and put in an amazing one. I was adopted again at birth by my mom, Sandy, 23 years ago, on August 23rd, 1999. My birth mom, she was 14 when she had me, so she was fairly young, very young. And my biological dad, he was 19 at the time, and I think he might have been in jail when I was born, so he wasn't even in the picture. Which was just kind of crazy that I got pulled out of that situation, because it would have been real bad. I probably would have gotten put in foster care or something like that if my mom hadn't been pulled into the picture, which is just really awesome. But fast forward to going to school here locally in Georgia, going to an amazing church I grew up in a Christian home, but didn't really get impacted with the gospel until I was about 16 years old. And it was in a chapel service. It was on May 5th, 2016. I remember the day exactly. And we were doing some kind of prayer day in the chapel service, instead of having a speaker or preacher come and speak to us. And it was just, I felt the Lord tugging at my heart, pulling me towards Him in a way that I never felt before. I always felt like a little itch here and there, but never really anything to move me. But that day really changed my life. And you would think, coming to faith in Jesus at that age, you would think, oh, he's going to get his life on track. Not really. Later that year, turned 17, about 2 months earlier, and then around October, got into a bad relationship with a girl. Some things happened that shouldn't have happened, and the Lord kind of scarred me for about 4 or 5 years from dating. I didn't start dating again until Jenna, and that was in 2021. So
and even those actions affected you and us.
Yeah, it affected.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about that in our love story, but it took a while for me to be able to get into that place again. But right out of high school, I went into a gap year program at Snowbird Wilderness Outfitters, camp that we used to work at. The program was called Old School, which stood for their Outdoor Leadership and Discipleship School, which is just a really cool opportunity because I got to experience things I would never get to experience ever. And we went rock climbing, backpacking, and all those kinds of things, outdoor activities, caving and all those kinds of things that I'd never really done before. I've gone small backpacking trips, like 3 miles and stuff like that, but nothing as intense as this and as challenging as this. Because the way that they worked it was we would if say we were backpacking, we backpack for 5 miles in a day, which sounds easy, but it's tough when you got 100 pounds on your back. And you're doing that, and then they get you not in this vulnerable state, but a state of being willing to talk. And we went through the book of Ephesians within those 3 months that we took that gap year. It was from August to beginning of December. And we did that, which is really cool because it moved me to want to be at Snowbird more. Because I had been a camper there for a long time, ever since I was 11 years old until then. And I love Snowbird, but it really wasn't like a place I would ever work at before Old School. Then after Old School, I was like, okay, I gotta stay. I gotta not make a name for myself, but continue to be plugged in at camp. And then it was just really cool because didn't think really I was going to get accepted. And then I got a call in February from one of the main guys up there saying that I got a job to work that summer, which was really awesome. And so went up there middle of May of 2019 and worked there for about 7-8 weeks or so, and I got fired. A really hard moment in my life, just of like, one, confusion, and second, anger of like, hey God, this is where you showed me that you wanted to be, but now it's been taken away. From something that for me it was like not communicated well into what the reason was, and a bunch of people shared information and it got miscommunicated through them, so it was miscommunicated to me, and it was just really hard to understand why I got fired. But a few years later, I do now understand why the Lord removed from that, because it would have been a really bad situation if I hadn't. But the Lord grew me throughout that next year, because I went back home, stayed home, started working, and I went back up to Snowbird 2 more times before that next summer. Went out there for a men's conference and college retreat. Got to see one of the friends that I made during that time, including her. And it really wasn't until the college retreat that they noticed something different in me, something that the Lord had changed and the Lord had grew in me. And the Lord compelled me again to go back up to camp and work in 2020. And Lord knows that was a crazy year, because we had no idea camp was even going to run, because 90% of camps shut down for that summer. And they were out there for 3 months prior before that, and they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't leave.
It was crazy.
So typically we would get up there middle of May, but we didn't get there until beginning of June that summer. Yep. And even then it was still like, okay, we're going to stay open because people getting sick and everything. So it was a crazy summer. But the Lord put on my heart to intern for that whole next year at Snowbird. In the intern program, you work in a department, and I chose to work in the Institute, which is a part of their intern program, but you also take classes through Snowbird.
And at this point, when he started to stay to intern at the end of that summer, that was my second summer. And I had interned the year before, and I was planning on coming back to intern again, but I had torn my ACL, and I was supposed to get surgery during COVID, like right before COVID hit. I was supposed to get surgery, and then they canceled all like unnecessary surgeries, and so I didn't get to have my surgery. So I stayed all year until the end of summer 2020. And then after summer, I went home and had surgery and recovered for a couple of months, and then. So
we didn't see her for about 4 months until she came back. Yeah. Towards the middle of December, when we were even about to go on break for Christmas break. But during those 4 months, it was just really cool because we got to take classes on expository preaching and theology, and going through an Old Testament survey, which is just really cool because those are things that I kind of learned about being at Christian school at Calvary, but at the same time, it wasn't as deep. And it was just really cool because I got, graded for it and all that kind of stuff. I got to preach some in our exposition class, and it was just really cool because it grew my want to be where I am today as an assistant youth pastor at Calvary Baptist Church. Yeah. being able to preach, being able to run events, and being able to be in that youth pastor role without being fully into it, because that's a lot. But
Not
Lord,
there yet.
yeah, not there yet. Gotta do a few things before that. But the Lord grew me into wanting to do that. And at this point, I'm working under some great people, worked with her cousin actually.
Cousins.
Both in some instances, yeah. And it's just really cool because I got to know them and through them got to know Jenna a little more. So just really cool opportunity. But that's where I'm going to leave it off. We'll pick up next time with her testimony. You got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I think, and that's like just like a snippet of his testimony, like, because it could take a lot longer, like just going into details, and like if there's any questions that you guys have or want to know about,
feel free to ask. I'm an open book.
Literally anything in the comments, like about his testimony, about the relationship that he had. If y'all want to hear about that, like we can go into that, relationships, like how that was for him, and then on the opposite flip side, me never having a relationship and never having been in one before him. Like he was my one and only boyfriend, still is to this day. And yeah, we could talk about that or whatever, but yeah, next I'll share my testimony, and we just really hope that you guys feel like we love you guys, that you're talking to a friend, that we're able to just sit down here and make you feel welcome. And our number one goal is to just glorify the Lord. So
Through our stories.
Yeah, and if there's anybody that's watching this that doesn't know the Lord and has any questions,
Feel free
to ask.
We're willing to answer. Promise. But that's the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the like button. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video and other ideas that you want to leave for us to be able to make. If you want something more entertaining, we got you. With limited budget, but we got you. But also make sure you turn on notifications, because if you're not getting notified of our uploads, you're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
So that's the end of our video. We will see you guys.
We love you guys.
Next time.
Talk to you later. Wait. Come back.